Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Raeann, but you can call me Ray. Today's video is on this beautiful palette that's almost the size of my face. I was actually surprised on how big this palette was, but look at how beautiful this packaging is. Like, honestly, I don't think there's anything that I can think of right now that's as beautiful as this. Like, literally nothing at all. Look at how dreamy this is. Like, seriously, and look at how textured that is. Like, this is absolutely stunning, and just like, it just feels nice too. Anyways, and the actual whatchamacallit brand name is like velvety too, which is, oh, that feels so satisfying. And it's got this cute little tassel on here. This is so cute. And since I didn't actually say what this was, this is the Kesha Rose palette. So this is the the World palette, or you know, if you wanted to, you could just call it the For the Win palette, you know, for the win. Anyways, it's the FTW palette, and this thing is stunning. Okay, before we move on and I show you the inside of the palette, go ahead and look at this box too. Like, everything in here, well, okay, I did just get the palette, I didn't get anything else with the drop, but yeah, you know, this thing is gorgeous. And so is the box. If that's important to you, look at how beautiful this box is. It's a beautiful box. Beautiful. So if you guys didn't know, Kesha came out with her own makeup brand. I think she launched, let's see, like 2 eyeliners and 2 lip products, and then this palette. I was thinking of getting the whole thing, but the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what, let's just start with the palette and go from there. I am an eyeshadow person, so of course I'm gonna be like, I want the eyeshadow palette first, and then I'll kind of see how you know, if I'm interested in anything else. Overall, everything looks super pretty though, and I do kind of wish that I ended up getting everything, but for sure, you know, I gotta get me the eyeshadow palette. I just have to. I don't remember how much this was. I want to say it was $34. So this has 12 shades in here, and let's go ahead and finally get into it because I've literally been talking the whole time. And this is what the inside of this palette looks like. Like, this is absolutely stunning. I couldn't have thought of a better color scheme for this palette. Like, it was done absolutely perfectly. From the packaging to the actual shades in the palette, everything just seems so Kesha. Like, it just literally seems perfect. Like, this seems so well thought out that I literally can't even stop staring at it. That's how beautiful this is. So, and then just before we move on, so it does have a mirror in here, which is really nice. It's literally like the whole size of the palette, like, basically. Like, this is good. Like, this is a really good size mirror. That's always nice. I'm for sure gonna leave this little film on it, but yeah, I don't know. These are so cute. Just look at this packaging. Like, this is beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and just get into the swatches. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the swatches. And if you guys didn't know, so I did watch a couple videos of Kesha talking about the palette. All of these, if you couldn't figure it out already, all of these shadow names are songs of hers. Old songs, new songs, songs that haven't come out yet. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a fast forward video of me swatching them out, and then that'll just be, I don't know, rather than like saying like, oh, this is this shade and then doing it, we're just gonna kind of go, I might just go around in a circle and then do these 3, but you know, none of them are really that similar from each other. I really don't think that I need to like say what each shade is. If you guys prefer that method though, I think that's the way that I've been doing it, just let me know and then I can just go back to doing it. But I'm just gonna dip into the swatches, kind of go a little bit fast through that, and then we'll go ahead and get into the look. Look at how beautiful this color is. Hold on, I need to show you guys before I actually swatch that. These swatches are coming out so beautiful, by the way. And just because like awkward placing, I'm actually just going to, well, I'll get you guys in a little bit closer to what I have now, and then the other two shades I'm just going to swatch on the back of my hand, since it's just like really like, it's already, yeah, I ran out of space. So these are how the swatches are looking so far. And then before we move on, I just want to get better swatches of the last two shades, and those were Honey and TikTok, which I think TikTok is kind of like a pressed glitter. So these are the two. Ooh, both of those shades are really, really pretty. But yeah, this bottom one, TikTok, I'm pretty sure that's definitely a pressed glitter. I really like the shift in that Honey shade too. It's like a golden kind of like pinky color as well. But all of these shades came out so, like, look at how pretty those are. Like, these are absolutely stunning. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my arm, and we'll get into, actually hold on, I'll zoom you guys out and then I'll talk about how I felt about the swatches really fast. So this is the whole rainbow on my arm right now, but look at how beautiful this looks. Like, these actually look stunning, like stunning, absolutely gorgeous. Like, I don't even want to wipe this off, I really don't. Everything felt like it swatched pretty good. The mattes came out a little tiny bit patchy, especially towards the end of the swatch, but nothing alarming. I feel like overall everything swatched out really, really, really pretty. And of course I have staining, but that's to be expected, nothing alarming. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start one eye, and then I will be back to show you guys what I did and how to do it. Okay, so this is basically the gist of things. I always say that. Is there another thing that I can say? Like, this is the direction that we're going. For sure, kind of messed up on this eye, so don't judge it completely based off of this one, okay? Thanks. The first shade that we're gonna go into is this one right here. So, Backstabber. I will say the shade takes a little bit of building up, so I'm gonna start the general shape of it and probably just kind of cut it off at some point, because it does, at least this eye, I actually started it, I didn't like it, and then I did it again, and both times I started with Backstabber, and both times it did take a while to build up. Nothing, like, that's okay to me, like, that doesn't bother me at all. Honestly, sometimes it's better with the darker shades that you need to put a little more effort into it versus having it be super pigmented, because if it's all the way pigmented, it is going to be hard to clean up. So, go ahead and get into this shade. See how it, like, is definitely a really light kind of magenta color versus, like, it looks more of like a maroon in the pan. I will say this shade does, even after building it up, it does feel like a different color to me. Like, it doesn't completely read as what it reads in the pan, at least to me, because the shade in the pan just seems a little bit darker. Again, that's not anything like too crazy, but I did think that the shade was going to be built up to be a darker shade, and because it really is basically your darkest matte in this palette, so I was expecting it to be darker than it actually ends up being, but it's still a pretty shade. Okay, so this is basically what we're going to do with this shade. I'm just going to sit here and build it up a little bit more, so I am just going to stop filming it, and then I'll come back once it's as dark as I want it to be, so I'll be back. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back into this. So I just went ahead and cut my crease too, since I usually don't do that on camera anyways. So the first shade that we're going to dip into is, so this is a little hard for me to like operate because, yeah, it's circle shape, I don't know. Anyways, we'll go into this shade here. I'm not gonna lie, when I first started this, literally in my head I was like, great, I look like Barney. Literally, that was like the first thing in my head. It's so weird how like certain colors, like you associate them with certain things, and this green and purple combo, Barney. 100%. Does green and purple remind you of anything else? Like, I'm really curious now. I want to know what this color combo can remind you of. And I think I forgot to mention, but I do this every video, for the most part at least. I use a glitter primer whenever I use a shimmer, so I did use a glitter primer. Okay, so from this shade, I'm gonna go ahead and dip into this Godzilla shade. Could totally use the palette as my like mirror, but I can barely hold it up to show you guys like what shade I'm using. I probably would drop it every single time. And then we are gonna bring this shade a decent amount inward to where the green shade was or is, just to kind of make a new color with those two and really blend them together. Okay, so from that shade we're gonna go into this blow shade right here. And this one I did apply a little bit of it with my finger, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And then I do want to dip back into some of that Godzilla shade. Alright, and then for the next shade we're gonna go into this woman shade. That'll be the outer corner color, because it blends really well with the matte shade that was down already. Cool, they are looking about the same now. And then let's see. Okay, so I'll show you guys what I do on the lower lash line. Basically, I go into every shade I just used, so in the same exact order. Start from the inner side and then go out to the outer corner. I actually just ended up using a Q-tip for this. I have a lot of dirty brushes right now, and I only really have very few that I like using under my eye area, so I just decided to use a Q-tip. And then we'll start from like the inner tear duct area, but not fully put it there, because I might want to use a different shade for the inner highlight. I haven't decided yet. But we'll start with the green shade, make our way into the darker green shade, so Godzilla, and then go into the blue shade, and then go into the woman shade. Okay, so that's basically what we're looking at from here. So I guess I could show you guys on camera, because I didn't do it the last time I did a video like this. I have been loving this whole glitter above the like cut crease thing going on that I've been doing literally almost every single video of mine for like the last couple of videos. Someone complimented me on it, and it just made me feel really nice, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep doing it, and now here we are. This is like the third or fourth time I've done this on camera now, I think. So basically what I do is I go into my glitter glue, go over the shape. You want to be kind of careful with this, because if you get the glitter glue over in areas that you don't want it, it's gonna pick up any pigment that you end up putting on after the fact, and it'll end up looking really patchy. It just will be almost impossible to blend out that shade. So like, say if I did that and I went back into that matte shade, the backstabber shade, if it was near the glitter glue or on the glitter glue, it would probably all just like into one area, like, you know, like it would all stick to it. That's probably the word I was looking for. And I did that once in a video not too long ago. I forget what one it was, and it was just like almost impossible to blend out. Anyways, from there I just dip into this honey shade, I decided to do that just because I wanted to make sure that if the pressed glitter wasn't enough, that I had something underneath it to kind of bring out a shimmer and just another pop of color. I'm doing this one a little bit lighter than what I did originally on the other eye, but I will say I could have probably just stuck with this shade without having to do the pressed glitter, but what's the fun in that? Like, this itself looks really pretty, so I definitely could have stopped, but I didn't. So from there, going into TikTok, it's so hard not to like want to start singing all of her songs, by the way, that like it's just very hard not to just bust out in song right now. By the way, I'm sure none of you knew this, but I actually named my car Kesha. And this is because it had like 5 or 6 CDs in it, and Kesha's CD was one of them, so my car's name is Kesha. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of just finish everything off camera. I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up my makeup, and I'll show you guys what everything looks like afterwards. Then we'll talk about the palette really briefly. Obviously, this is the first time I've used this palette, so I don't have a lot to, well, I have a decent amount of things to say, but anyways, I will go ahead. Ooh, 1 second. I haven't done it yet because I'll probably do it off camera, but for my blending shade, I used this Pageant shade, which I don't think I actually told you guys. I think I used it when I was off camera, so that's the one I use on the outer part of my eye. I'm gonna finish up everything and I will be back. Okay, so this is the finished look. I totally forgot to put another battery in here, so we'll see if I can make it last. But maybe that's what stops me from talking too much, because, you know, sometimes I do that. Anyways, this is the finished look. Overall, I think I like it. Went a little ham with the glitter, and I wasn't able to define the eye as well as I thought I would with the glitter, so it kind of got everywhere. This eye, it kind of, it like transferred a little bit, so it went up higher than I wanted it to. That could have been that glitter glue effect that I was telling you guys about. Maybe I just put a little too much on there, but overall, this is one beautiful baby of a palette. Like, it's beautiful. But my general thoughts on it so far, I mean, I've only used it this one time, so I don't want to say like, oh, this is amazing, all this stuff. So far, it's pretty good. I mean, I don't really have any complaints about it. The one thing I will say is I do feel like the shades took a while to build up, especially this matte shade Backstabber. Felt like that took a little while to build up, and then also felt like it wasn't as dark as what I thought it would be, as what it shows in the pan. Other than that, it's still a really pretty shadow, so I'm not disappointed by it, but it just didn't seem like as dark as I thought it was going to be. I didn't use any of the other mattes, so if I do another video using this palette, I definitely want to play around with some of those, see how those perform. They swatched pretty well. The mattes were a little bit patchy, but nothing, you know, that's pretty typical for matte shades, so at least when they swatched out, I only used Backstabber and it didn't seem patchy to me. It just felt like it took a while to build up, and it still wasn't as dark as what I thought it was going to be. The shimmers performed really nicely. I did use glitter glue, so I probably should have seen how they were going to perform without glitter glue, but sometimes it's kind of hard to like add glitter glue in later to start like building them up, and I really wanted the shadows to pop, so I didn't want to have to worry about doing that later, and then trying to get everything to like blend back together, if that makes sense. But overall, I feel like the shades were really pretty. I really don't have any complaints so far. Yeah, I was interested in doing a 3 looks 1 palette, so if you guys want to see that, just let me know. That is something that I was already thinking of doing, but if it is something you guys want to see, then I'll for sure make it happen. Anyways, yeah, the shimmer shades were really easy to work with. Sorry, I'm like looking over in this direction. I'm just like, I'm literally just staring at it. Like, Everything performed really nicely. Overall, I think this look is kind of pretty. I really like doing the shimmers under the eye and like matching it all together. It just felt like a nice little rainbow of sorts, and I thought that was really fun. Overall, this shade range in here, like all of these, overall this color story is just really pretty. Like, I knew, it's so weird because I knew when they announced everything that if there was an eyeshadow palette, I was gonna buy it. And then once I saw they had released, I think Kesha was the one who posted it, but I forget what account posted it first, whether it was the beauty account or her personal. They released a picture of the palette and I was like, okay, yeah, for sure buying that. Like, I know I'm going to love this. Like, there's no doubt in my brain that I'm gonna love this. And you know what? I do. I freaking love it. I love this. But yeah, it's just a very fun color scheme, and just, I can't stop staring at it. This is so beautiful, and like, I love it. I mean, okay, I can't say I love it yet because this is a first impression, but like, you know, so far, I'm so intrigued by this color story, and everything performed pretty well. Like, I really don't have any complaints as far as how everything performed. I'm excited to use the other shades. I'm really interested to see how all of these like pastel-y matte shades work. Words. But yeah, this is just an exciting, fun palette. Like, this is just like inspiration in a palette, really. Like, I just keep looking at it and I'm like, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. It's just fun. I feel like it feels different than a lot of palettes I've been seeing lately, and it's just absolutely fucking gorgeous. Like, it's gorgeous. Okay, it's gorgeous. Honestly, those are my thoughts so far. I don't want to keep like rambling on about the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I'm so excited to keep working with this, and this color story is just so, like, it's just inspiring me just even talking about it. So far I think this palette's really fun. I think that the quality is good. So excited that I actually picked it up. Like, I really am just so excited to keep working with this. Those are basically my general thoughts right now. I'll keep you guys updated if anything changes, and again, let me know if you want me to do like a 3 looks 1 palette, because totally down to do that. Like, 100% down to do that. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I like prematurely put my thumb up, so I'm just like, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.